Hey, what's happening, guys? And welcome to this very special edition of the Main Event Talk happening right now. Well, as I mentioned in my post earlier, I have pretty much waited long enough. Originally, I was supposed to have done a Main Event Talk already. Like, I was supposed to have posted one in yesterday, as a matter of fact, right before the big shocking announcement, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. I was supposed to have revealed a Main Event Talk talking about the NWA 70th anniversary show, which took place this past Sunday night over in Nashville. And if you guys had an opportunity to go on my Main Event Talk Facebook, if you saw the entire event, you know what's going on. And if you didn't, well, you missed out on a great opportunity. But I know you can see the replay on that particular page. So if you go to, I think it's Unreal Mat Wrestling, I think that's what the page is. And it's funny that every time I go to that page, I mean, lately I've gotten 2 pay-per-views out of the whole thing. Now I may possibly get another one out of the whole thing if everything goes well. So my thank yous go out to those guys for putting out the pay-per-view and everything else like that. Well, yes, that's a car. You just saw it right there. But anyways, I want to talk about the NWA 70th anniversary show when I have the time and everything else like that. But I kind of don't want to talk about it at this point. Maybe I'll be able to produce that episode hopefully tomorrow because, like I said, I was going to arrange it sooner, but I haven't had time, so I'm going to try and do that as best I can. I want to talk about what happened on Monday night. I want to talk about what took place, and as you can see right there on the screen right there at the bottom, you'll see it says Main Event Talk, and then you'll see it right there where it says Thank You Roman Reigns. And there's a particular reason why this is being shown. And for the first time, this is not only being seen on my Facebook page, it's also being shown on YouTube. And we've got some things up and running with YouTube now, so I'll be able to finally post this out and have everyone to see. Everyone's been keeping a very close eye of what's been happening on Monday Night Raw, and I'm pretty much going to talk about what happened and everything, including the controversial ending to the tag team title match that happened this past Monday night on Raw. I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to give you my opinions on it. But before I talk about it, I want to talk about Roman Reigns. I want to talk about the man. For a long time, when I first heard about Roman Reigns years ago, he was a guy who he was a cousin to The Rock, and he was a cousin to the Iowa family and everything. As a matter of fact, one of the craziest things is that yes, you see the light right there and everything. But one of the craziest things is I was watching the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I believe it was back in 2007, I think. Oh, as a matter of fact, yeah, it was in 2007. If you look very closely in the crowd, I think it was 2007 Hall of Fame. I was watching WrestleMania 23. When I was watching the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, out in the crowd, I think it was somewhere behind, I think it was John Cena, I think it was somebody. Right behind him, about a few rows down, was Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was actually there. Joe, actually, was there at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony in 2007. And then Roman Reigns became a part of NXT. He was in OVW. Not OVW, but he was in FCW. I saw some of his tremendous matches with him and Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. And then, of course, I saw his NXT debut, 2012. And then, of course, everybody remembers the infamous night at Survivor Series when all 3 men, including Roman Reigns, the Shield came in and made a very, very lasting impression. And ever since then, the Shield was one of the most powerful factions in the history of WWE. Roman Reigns was definitely the big dog, and was definitely him. Well, besides Dean Ambrose and besides Seth Rollins, were definitely the workhorses of WWE. They were looking to change WWE, and they did. They did as much as they could. And of course, the separation of the Shield happened, and then Roman Reigns went on and did what he had to do. He went ahead and made a lasting impression on Randy Orton. He made a long-lasting impression on being tag team champions, and also he went on to win the Royal Rumble. And despite the fact that the fans hated to see Roman Reigns win that year, he won it. And even though he never won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, he did win it the following year after that, WrestleMania 32. Roman Reigns has held on to many championships in his career, from the likes of the WWE Championship to the Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship, the Tag Team titles. He was, I believe, Superstar of the Year in 2013, 2014, I believe. Roman Reigns was a man. Roman Reigns was a star. And although a lot of people like to look at Roman Reigns as a guy that nobody really liked, he was almost a polar opposite to John Cena. Pretty much. Because a lot of the fans never liked John Cena, and they pretty much put Roman Reigns in that same category. Roman Reigns, to me, is a man. I was someone that loved Roman Reigns. I appreciate him for what he is. He was at the top of his game. Will he be in the level of a Rock? Maybe, maybe not. Only time will tell. Roman Reigns this year has fought a lot in his career. He's won every single championship except for one, and that was the Universal Championship. He couldn't win it at WrestleMania. He couldn't win it. Well, actually, let me correct that. He did win it at the Greatest Royal Rumble, but due to some controversy, Brock Lesnar walks away with the title. And then at SummerSlam, that all changed. Roman Reigns would become the Universal Champion for the first time in his career. Roman Reigns was on top of the world. And I had said that if Roman Reigns ever became the Universal Champion, then it's time to bring the Shield back together. And that's exactly what happened. The Shield came back together, and they were more stronger and more powerful than they've ever been in a long, long time. And despite some of the things that you've seen on Raw, the Shield was still the best. And then this past Monday night on Raw, there were a lot of rumors and speculations about, everyone knows about WWE Crown Jewel possibly being canceled, possibly not being canceled. Still up in the air. There was a lot of rumors and speculations on certain superstars that will not be attending Crown Jewel. Roman Reigns being one of them. And it wasn't the fact that he couldn't make the schedule. It was the fact that he could be there. He could defend the title if he wanted to, but there was a reason. Most people say it was injury, but it wasn't. So at the beginning of the show, at the beginning of Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns came out to the ring with the Universal Championship. Street clothes and all, gold chain and everything, with the Universal title on his shoulder. Fans were booing him, and fans were cheering him. And Roman Reigns had announced that he was relinquishing the Universal Championship. And it wasn't the fact that he relinquished the title. It wasn't the fact that he relinquished the title because of injury. It wasn't the fact that he was relinquishing the title because he needed time off. He relinquished the title because of a battle that he had to face outside the ring. Roman Reigns had revealed to the world that he had leukemia. And, I got to admit, it wasn't funny. I was watching that crowd. Some were booing, some were cheering. But then when it was noted that he had leukemia, the crowd was just in awe. Nobody could believe it. I could actually read some of the Twitters and some of the Facebooks, and everyone's been saying that Roman Reigns may be faking it. How do you fake something like that? You know, you all, and I know, I love this business for what it is. Wrestling is as real as it could possibly get. But sometimes, certain things in your life you don't expect. And from what I understand, Roman Reigns has been battling leukemia since he was 22 years old. And this is kind of a little bit of a story that I know. Prior to when Roman Reigns was a part of the Shield, I think this was after WrestleMania 29, I've been looking at a lot of information about Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was the most interesting because I had heard something about his leukemia, but most people thought it was bullshit, and most people thought it was just some plagiarism or something like that. I don't know. It's just a story I read. But then after hearing Roman Reigns say that, it was no joke. You know, you can hate Roman Reigns, you can love Roman Reigns. But all of us, every single one of us can say we're behind him. We're behind Roman Reigns at this time right now. You know, this is and yeah, I admit I'm crying on this, but you know what? I'm being for real. I'm being for real with all of you. I can call it a controversial talk. I can call it whatever I want. But one thing I won't do is bullshit any of you. You know, in wrestling, we understand the storylines. Sometimes they can be real. And there are other times where they can be too real. And then there are times where storylines are a bit over the top. This was no story. This was as real as it got. And it's just sad. It's just sad that this had to happen to someone like Roman Reigns. I've been a fan of the big dog for a while, and I still am a fan, and I know that there's some of you that may hate him, there's some of you that may love him, but I know all of you are behind him. And it don't matter if you hate the person or if you love the person, you just don't want to see that person go through what he's going through right now. He relinquished the Universal Championship. He laid the title down. He had his brothers, the Shield, right there with him. And you saw Seth Rollins crying. And yeah, that was real emotion. That's what it was. It was no script. It was no bullshit. It was no nothing. It was exactly what it needed to be. And Roman Reigns, to you, I dig you, big dog. You've been a part of the Shield for a long time. You've come to Corpus Christi many times. As a matter of fact, you were here just 1 month ago. You were over in Austin, Texas, right before you showed up to the American Bank Center. You had the Universal Championship, and you were right behind your team, your college team. And then you were on your way over to the American Bank Center. And everyone in Corpus loved to see you. And like I said before, whether they hate you, whether they loved you, they came to see Roman Reigns. They came to see the Universal Champion. They came to see the big dog. What happened on Monday? It's unquestionably one of the saddest moments ever. Everyone, from myself to all of you, and I know that all of you have been sharing this on my Main Event Talks to everyone on Facebook and everyone all across the world. I thank you for that. I thank you a whole lot because Roman Reigns needs our support. Roman Reigns needs our prayers. Roman Reigns needs us. He does. And this whole thing with leukemia is no fucking joke. We all have to go through something in our life that's life-threatening. Cancer is a bitch. And that's what it is. I'm being for real about this, guys. This ain't no... I'm not going through no script. I'm not going through no paperwork. Nobody's giving me something to write on. This is straight from the Main Event's fucking heart. Leukemia is a fucking bitch. And Roman Reigns, in his life, must face a battle greater than what he goes through in the ring. In the ring, he's faced off against Brock Lesnar. In the ring, he's faced off against John Cena. In the ring, he's faced off against his own brothers, The Shield. He's faced off against Braun Strowman. He's faced off against Triple H. He's faced off some of the greatest superstars to ever step foot inside the ring. But now, he faces a far greater battle outside the ring. And it's a battle he's faced before, obviously. It's a battle he's faced before. And he thought he put it away, but it came back. He put it behind him 11 years ago. When he was 22 years old, he was diagnosed with leukemia. And he thought he put that behind him, but it came back. Now, he's got to face it. And this is something that he has to do on his own. But you know what? He's not going out at it alone. Everyone here on the Main Event Talk, every professional wrestling fan, everyone, AJ Styles is behind him. Christopher Daniels is behind him. Frankie Kazarian, Jeff Jarrett, Jerry the King Lawler, Jim Cornette, Johnny Impact, several of the divas, Ronda Rousey, Trish Stratus, several, all of them are behind Roman Reigns, just like we are right now. We're behind the big dog. So Roman, whether you watch this, whether you don't watch this, I want to say on behalf of every person watching this Main Event Talk right now, everyone all across the world, we thank you. We thank you a whole lot. We thank you for your contributions to the WWE. We thank you for your contributions to the Shield. We thank you for having all the fans cheer you. We thank you for having all the fans come out and say, "Go fuck yourself." and that's not being mean. That's just me being me. But nonetheless, Roman, we thank you very much. You are a great man. You've been through a lot in your life. You've won championships. you have a daughter, you have a family, and you have a lot to look forward to. And hopefully, there will be a time and there will be a place when you return. All of us want you to come back. And we want you to come back leukemia free. So as you walk out of that aisle and into the entranceway for the very last time, and as you pass by all the superstars, as you pass by Triple H, as you pass by Shawn Michaels, as you pass by Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon, as you passed all of the superstars, every single one of them, from the Raw superstars to the SmackDown superstars, they're all thanking you, they all love you, they're all supporting you all the way. And as soon as you hit the arena, as soon as you walk out the door, as soon as you hit in that rental car and take off, then the battle begins. The big dog is going to go on a road and he's going to face his leukemia. He's going to face it on his own. It's one thing when it's in the ring, but out here's a real battle. And you have one chance, one opportunity to kick leukemia's ass. And we hope you do, big dog. We hope you give leukemia a drive-by. We hope you give it a Superman punch. We hope you spear it right through the fucking wall. And when you see that leukemia in front of you, as it goes down, give it about a few more spears until leukemia learns its fucking lesson to not mess with the big dog or his family. The big dog has got too much to live and too much to do. The wrestling fans are not done with him yet. So Roman, you do what you can. You face leukemia. You take it down. And you come back to us. And when you come back, the fans will hate you. The fans will love you. But we all will know you beat leukemia and you kicked its fucking ass. That is what we want. So on behalf of the wrestling fans, on behalf of the Main Event Talk, on behalf of everyone in the WWE, TNA Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and everything else like that, we thank you, Roman Reigns. We thank you for your contributions to professional wrestling. We love you, we will miss you, and we hope the big dog comes back. And when you come back, you let us know that you took down leukemia and kick it in its fucking ass. We'll miss you, big dog. Come back and believe that. Guys, that's pretty much almost all the emotion I can put out. And believe me, I know that this is not exactly the way I should put it, but in the process, it's like something I just had to do. I just had to do it, you know? Because, like I said before, love Roman Reigns, hate Roman Reigns. None of us want to see him go through what he's going through right now. As far as I'm concerned, we all need to be behind the big dog in every way possible. But putting that aside real quick, because there's probably a little bit more I want to put onto it before I go. I wanted to talk about the end. The end was good. I digged it. And let me talk about the end. I'm talking about Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins going after the WWE Tag Team Championship, as we saw them go after the titles against Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Now, we saw the implosion that happened between Braun Strowman and Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. And believe me, I did see it coming. I just thought it was going to be 1 month ago. You know, I didn't think it was going to happen this quick, but it happened. It happened. And then everyone on Twitter, everyone on social media, Facebook and so forth, have all wanted to see Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins win the tag team titles. Braun Strowman came in. He interfered in the match. And then after that, it was easy pickings after that. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose won the tag team titles for the, I think, second or third time, I believe. So congratulations go out to Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, because they not only won it for themselves, they won it for their brother. Up until the big surprise. And you know what the surprise is. Now, let me reiterate on something, because I want to get this out for everyone to understand. Years ago, when the Shield was still together, I still remember when Triple H came out with Randy Orton with a sledgehammer in his hand, and then Seth Rollins came out and got a steel chair. There's Dean Ambrose, there's Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins is in the back with a steel chair. And then Triple H had mentioned there's always a plan B. Kept wondering what he was talking about. And then Seth Rollins goes ahead and takes a steel chair and bashes it in the back of Roman Reigns. And the shock look on Dean Ambrose's face told the entire story. That was a huge shock. And that is what I loved. I wanted to see that. Because everyone at that time wanted Dean Ambrose to be the one to turn on the Shield. Everybody wanted Dean Ambrose to be the one to turn against his brothers. Didn't happen. Did not happen at all. And it made it all too interesting, because when Seth Rollins did it, nobody saw it coming. It was a huge surprise, and it was a great heel turn. And I said that if something like this happens again, it needs to happen when nobody sees it coming and when nobody knows when it was coming. So on a night when Roman Reigns relinquished the Universal Championship and revealed that he had leukemia, Dean Ambrose won Tag Team Gold with Seth Rollins, and then he turned on him. And he turned on him at the right time. Because, hey, I know some people are going to say, oh, Dean Ambrose is a fucking asshole for doing that shit, because it's supposed to be Roman Reigns' day, because he suffered from leukemia and all this stuff, and we're all supposed to be behind him, and Dean Ambrose does this fucking bullshit. I admit that it was wrong. It was very wrong for Dean Ambrose to do that. But at the process, you, all of you asked for the Dean Ambrose heel turn. All of you wanted the Dean Ambrose heel turn. But the good thing was, nobody saw it coming. Nobody. And when it happened, I was like, mwah, brilliant. It was the most brilliant thing ever. And not only that, Dean Ambrose, for the first time in his career, is getting more heat than ever in his entire career since he was, I think, Mr. Moxie, right? Moxie, that's who he was. So, yeah, you can hate yes, you can hate Dean Ambrose for what he did to Seth Rollins and everything, but at the end, this is what you wanted. And this is exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a Dean Ambrose heel turn when nobody saw it coming. Nobody did. Dean Ambrose did exactly what he did. And Seth Rollins and Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, they may be the tag team champions, but they're bitter enemies once again. So now, how far is this going to go, and where will this take us? We'll all have to find out about that real soon. So, I have a lot more I want to talk about, but I think I'll save that for the next episode of the Main Event Talk when I put it together right here. So, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this episode of the Main Event Talk, and do me a favor and share this video with everybody when you have the opportunity. I'm going to show this off on Facebook. I'm going to show this off on YouTube as well for everybody. So, guys, like I said, another episode will be coming soon, guys, so be ready for that. So, thank you for watching. My prayers and my thoughts are with Roman Reigns and his family. Roman, like I said before, thank you, Roman Reigns. Thank you very much. Battle leukemia, kick its ass, and come back to the WWE where you belong. Alright? We're waiting for you, brother. Why? Because we can and we want to. Any questions? Enough said. And Roman, one more favor for me, please. When leukemia gets back up, give it 3 more spears. Believe that.